Hello, good listener. Hello.
Hello.
Good afternoon.
You know, if you've been wandering in the dark, trying to find something to listen to, you have come to a podcast because you still can't see. However, it is not any podcast. It is Always Strikes Last. And tonight, a special Winner's Circle edition with Alexander Frias here.
Pew, pew,
Not the
pew,
bird
pew.
lady.
Yes.
Pew pew.
Ba-ba-ba-ba.
Finger
Or in some
guns
cases, we are listening to
special.
us laying in bed and going to sleep to Mason's voice because someone did tell me at the tournament this weekend that Mason put them to sleep last night.
Like in a good way, like
Perfect.
in a mellifluous way. That's awesome, Mason.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, ASMR Mason
Yeah.
style.
Mhm.
Yeah. If we get 5 more patrons, I'll figure something out. You know.
We'll just have you read all the rules from each book.
Yeah.
We're
there you
gonna
go.
have like a bunch of weird tiers in the middle, like with your voice, Mason, and like my Dark Oath Phoenix tier. But okay,
Yeah.
only choose one.
There
You
you
want
go.
Jack to read to you in his Dark Oath voice, or Mason to read to you in his Dark Oath voice. You pick the child book or the Dr. Seuss book.
If we're
Yeah.
high enough tier, you just send us the script, I guess.
Don't pick me because I can't read.
Yeah,
Sure.
I'm even worse. I can't read.
Yeah.
We got the words, you got the numbers, Alex.
And in
The
this
good
case
news
now,
is
the trophy.
Alex had enough friends at the tournament this weekend to tell him what missions to play and what his rules were, because we
That's
definitely
true.
know he can't read. So
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, which is great. I mean, that's always a
I was
bonus.
impressed. I was not expecting a W going in there with no comprehension of the rules, but
Yeah.
You know
I
what?
forgot my
Where
glasses
there's
and everything.
you forgot your glasses too?
Yeah.
Well, where
This
there's
is-
a will, there's a way.
So wait.
also, I don't want to bury the lead too much, but it was also his birthday weekend. So
Oh my God.
It was. It
It
was.
was like
pretty
all
special.
the stuff.
So we gotta like kind of preface this a little bit. I think the listeners might have an inkling of what's to come, but in case they don't, know everything about it. What event was it, Alex? And what was your pregame ritual? Did you do anything? It sounded like you started out by like not being able to see anything, which is an uphill battle. But let us
Yeah.
know.
So this last weekend, I attended the last hunt in Spokane, Washington, which is about a 4-hour drive from Seattle, where
Mhm.
I currently reside. Um, and yeah, we played in a big event at the Centennial Hotel there. 10 out of 10 venue, I have to say.
Yeah.
Probably the best venue I've been to on the West Coast that's not the Tacoma Open. Uh, it was just absolute fantastic. The hotel staff was great. They had plenty of table space where you weren't booty bumping people as much as I missed booty bumping some people. They had a bar. Yeah, they had great ventilation for the 40K nerds. So you didn't
did
have
they
to
have
have
a
like
hot tub?
the bog of internal stench.
hmm
Uh, so yeah, it was kind of nice.
Hot tub? Hot tub? Yes,
No
no?
hot tub pool. They did have a heated pool, which we did jump into night one, which was fun.
That's fantastic. So good
Um,
venue out in the woods.
yeah, great
Eastern
venue. It was fun. I attended it because, as I said on our annual or our goal podcast we did at the beginning of the year, my goal this year was to qualify for Worlds, and this event happened to have a golden ticket. Also, a $500 travel voucher to Worlds, which was kind of an added perk, which, a lot of times people win their golden tickets just have to fend for themselves.
Yeah,
And
that's
travel and
awesome
hotel.
actually, as an added benefit.
Yeah, $500 is a lot, so it's, probably going to pay for half of your hotel or your plane ticket.
Mhm.
For sure. At
Yeah.
least the plane ticket. I think I paid like 300 last year, 320 or something like that. So
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's great.
it was put on by EU, the Eastern Washington Wargamers, which big shout out to them. They are absolute fantastic humans. Dane, Matt Seaman, Aaron, Brian, all of those guys. They were 10
Friendliest,
out of 10.
happiest.
Yeah,
Friendliest, happiest motherfuckers.
they
Nice.
I never met a club that can drink like the Corsairs until I hung out with these guys. These guys
and you wouldn't
were
expect it, you know? Like
Yeah, you wouldn't. It felt like that scene in Predator where Arnold and what's his rest in peace, what's his name? Carl Weathers do like the high five. It's just
Mhm.
like two alcoholic clubs. Like it
Nice.
was kind of fun.
That was great.
But yeah, did the super long drive over Friday morning, met up with the guys there. Um, it was we just kind of hung out, went out for brewery on the first night, drank beers. We celebrated my birthday, which was that weekend or that Saturday. Uh, Dane from the club, also the TO, bought me a birthday cake, which was really sweet. So thank you, Dane.
No.
It made me feel really special.
Nice.
Um, but yeah, we played 5 lovely rounds of Age of Sigmar, and it all things came up Millhouse. It felt fantastic. Um, I brought the Bone Daddies themselves, list I've been playing for some time now. Um, Brought the same list I brought to the Mox event. The three of us attended recently. Um, have a
I
little bit of
don't think we
uh,
actually talked about it. What was the list?
yeah. It was Catacross, 10 Death Riders in my General's Reg, and then I had the Soul Mason with 4 of the 3+ armor save Archai.
Oh,
Soul Mason had the -2 charge aura for 12 inches and the -2 control aura, which is both of those are pretty devastating. If you've ever had failed those 3-inch charges rolling a 4, it's pretty brutal. Uh,
or
and then I
re-rolled
had
that and failed
yeah, and then I
it.
had Vokmorden, who is kind of one of the MVPs this weekend, uh, and another 5 Death Riders, all wrapped in
Really?
the +1 to cast sub faction with the OBR and the spells.
So
Was a
how was Vok the MVP? Or is this like in-game, or is it certain rule? Were you abusing a combination?
So not only is Vok a double cast wizard at +1, um, Vokmorton has this really cool special ability where he can pick an enemy unit in either hero phase, and any non-fight core ability they use that turn, they have to spend a CP.
That's
Move,
huge.
retreat, charge, shoot, they have to spend a CP. And it helps you dwindle their resources down uh, to the point where they're not going to be able to all out defense most likely both turns against your Archai or your Death Riders or Catacross charging in,
Gross.
and you're just going to completely demoralize them.
That is hyper gross.
Yeah, it's pretty sweet. Um, yeah, it was a fantastic list. I've been playing the same list kind of casually since LVO. I mean, you guys know I've been building and painting my OBR, getting them tabletop ready,
Mhm.
posting the pictures in the Discord throughout. Um, Mason and I have talked a lot, and we've all talked a lot where I was playing Slaves. I'm tired of playing Corn for a little bit. I need a little bit of break. Slaves not my
Yeah.
cup of tea. It felt too coin flippy for me. Um, I think a big area of growth as a player is when you're able to reflect on what are your goals? Are the armies you're playing at the time achieving your goals? And can I do what I want to do with what I'm playing? And I found the answer to that with slaves was no. I needed to start playing what I would consider, and we've talked about on this podcast, 5-turn armies.
Mhm.
Armies that are going to play every phase for 5 turns and not just try to alpha someone right out of the cage, which I did do that a couple games. Uh,
It's
but
not that it
you,
can't be a strategy,
yeah,
like
It's just not the
it
only
can
one.
work. Right.
you want to have options. Yeah.
Mhm.
I want to be able to play reserve. I want to be able to play, you know, offense, turn it on, turn it off kind of thing. Yeah, it's fantastic list. I've won back-to-back tournaments with it, haven't dropped a single game. I think I've scored less than 40 points in any of my games.
Yeah, they're
Uh,
brutal. They're back in
they
that
are
scary
brutal.
spot, and ultimate debuff army again.
And I think they're going to get better too, with the new GHB.
I would imagine.
Change the builds, but I think they're going to be kind of in that sweet spot with all the stuff we're seeing.
I mean, just the changes to all out defense alone from what we
Oh
saw
yeah,
is just makes them massively terrifying.
yeah.
Like
And Catacross is
good.
already insanely good, and it's like
Hmm.
I benefit from all these things. You don't.
Yep. 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 And it's good to see the back on a more solid footing.
Yeah, they were. It felt good. Um, yeah, I can walk into my games.
Do it. Was there any
Let's
Uh,
like
hear it.
did you find a nice little like hipster coffee shop, or did you have to go with like just hotel coffee or what?
so, uh, traditional pregame ritual. I did my thing where I had too many beers the night before, and then wake up a little rough around the edges. I went and got hotel coffee. I ordered myself two quad shot Americanos, uh, and just I kind of immediately went to like another fifth dimension with all the caffeine. Um, did my little like do I go on a walk by myself and then I kind of sit around and kind of wait, just kind of get my mind right and mentally prepare myself. It's like, okay, slow it down. Tell myself these are the steps you need to make. Um, mentally I have the checklist in my head. I'm making sure I do it. Like, okay, I tell myself tactic, terrain piece, Catacross's ability, cast two wizards, double check all my pregame stuff, and then pass my turn. Kind of like I'm mentally vocalizing these things, even though I know I don't need to. I'd always just be like, okay, double check. I did my train piece. I cast two spells here. I cast two spells here. I'm not banishing anything. I activate places of power. I do my Catacross ability. Check my CP. Check my opponent's CP. We're good. And a lot of my opponents were just like, why are you don't have to keep saying all these things. Like, oh, no, no, no. It's not for you. It's for me. Like, don't worry.
I'm imagining you're just watching you like jazzed out of your mind, like a little bit frayed from the 5 rounds the night before, entering into round six, and
Oh
just
yeah.
like all the caffeine.
So, yeah, we played, and jump right in the games. I played, round one, I played my buddy Matt Seaman, those who've probably heard us talk about this podcast. Matt and I will grudge match each other every opportunity we get, uh, in any tournament we play in, if the TO will let us, because Matt and I have a trophy, that we have to bring to the tournament if we know the other person is going to be there. And the winner of the trophy gets to keep it until the next one. So I brought the trophy. We made sure with the TO they let us grudge each other, and we played. We played round one. We played Border War, which was a fun mission. For me, it's one of OBR's best missions.
Hmm.
Uh, you gotta love those dense maps. The train felt kind of cool how they did it. It wasn't as big as traditional train, which we play with here in the Northwest. It was a lot of like the outline train, like you see in 40K tournaments, where they have like the cutout neoprenes with like buildings. It's like, okay, the buildings can't be moved. You can activate stuff around it. Um, Trees were not real in the tournament, so that was a major buff for some armies, being able to hide whole big blobs of units on these giant
Yeah.
terrain pieces, which when I gave my feedback at the end of the term, I was like, you guys should make trees real.
You mean
Uh,
like
That
trees, physical
make
footprint trees? Like
that
you can
make
just remove them and have them sit on the
yeah.
mouse
So a lot
wheel.
of times
Yeah.
what you'll see at tournaments is either cut out neoprenes, which are done in these like weird little foresty areas, or like plastic sheets. Well, what they'll do is they'll take 40 or 50 millimeter bases, put them on there, and then take a Sharpie and draw like 2 or 3 rings on them. So it represents the fact that the trees are real, so they're impassable. So you can't put like, if you have a 6-inch wildwood, you can't hide a L'Oreal in there.
Yep. Or Catacross in
Or
your
Catacross,
instance.
which I was doing a lot.
Yep.
It is worth mentioning that's actually only really a thing here in the
Mhm.
PNW. Most places don't play trees are real.
Well,
So
I
it's kind of
was,
funny when we do
yeah.
TTS games and stuff because they're not super good practice for us if you're using the TTS terrain because here in PNW we play trees are real, but in a lot of places they don't.
It's a fair point, Mason, because they don't do it that way around here. Like most places,
Yeah.
like trees are not physical things you have to move around, like as a differential from the old wildwoods where they really were.
is
It's
this like the flat Earth or round Earth? Like are the PNW the flat Earthers in this case?
I
So
think so. I think
we're
so.
both on
no no
Earth. That's all we know.
the way it started was because we had US Open Tacoma as like the first event of fourth edition, right? And Matt
Yep.
Rose was here from Games Workshop. And at that event, he was telling us to play as if trees were real, right? So
I remember
Dimensional
that.
Cascade, who runs the bulk of our tournaments up here, Matt Beasley was like, well, hey, that's how Matt Rose said to play it. That's how we're going to play it. So it kind of stuck around. I did hear tell though at Team Worlds that they played trees were real for that also.
Oh,
So
cool.
I don't know where that was lobbied from or what, but they did. I remember doing some prep games with the guys beforehand, and they were like, "Hey, let's play this way," and I was like, "Oh, perfect! This is what I'm used to." So
For the
I'm
record, that's
I prefer
cool.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it makes games feel a little bit better. There's nothing worse than like, I don't know, some large infantry model that wouldn't technically fit in there, getting cover, not being shot, you
Oh,
know.
I was hiding
right,
10 packs of Death Riders in them.
Yeah.
Like
who was?
Yeah, that too.
I was.
Oh yeah,
Like that was just very good.
Yeah, that
Um
that would do it.
but yeah, Matt and I played. Matt played Stormcast. He's a very big Stormcast player. He played 60 Liberators and 6 Long Strikes, the Gabriel Sherhart, which is going away, and then the priest Stormcast character, which I always blank on his name.
Relictor?
Lord
The
Relictor.
Relictor for the teleport, yeah.
Yeah,
That list is brutal if you are not ready for it. It
Yeah,
will
I bet.
just swarm you. Luckily, he is a 4-drop, and I was a 3-drop list. And I took turn. I kind of deployed closest to the center in my little castle. I purposely did not deploy my terrain because if I'm playing against essentially a null deploy army, your faction train is just going to be extra movement for them for free.
Yep. Easy charge.
Easy, easy charges. And for easy tactic, just it's it's dumb. So kids out there, if you're listening, if your opponent's playing a null deployed Stormcast list, think twice about deploying a train.
Well, even if they have like a teleportation unit,
Yeah.
you know, it can be a liability, especially with OBR and like Seraphon. That's the only thing I ever focus on with Seraphon is just okay, let them move just out enough where I can get that extra movement for that stupid pyramid and stupid lizards.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm done.
But yeah, I took turn, chose seize the center. I was like, Matt, I'm just gonna come in the center and plant my flag and make Matt come and work for it. I knew the big key to my list was he had no wizards. We played Old Town Throwdown train set. Uh, for the map, there was no places of power. So I knew it was physically impossible for him to essentially banish all 3 of my spells because he only had a priest that could, attempt 1 a turn.
Mm-hmm.
So the Soul Mason with the -2 charge aura is pretty big. He had Gabriel Sherhart, which allows him to roll 3 dice and take the 2 highest when he drops in with Gabriel and a unit in combat with them, which is essentially the Pokeball strategy, or if that's what you want to call that, the Tzeentch players are using with Slaves to Darkness or in the Tzeentch book from the Gaunt Summoner.
Right.
But it's an okay strategy in my opinion. Uh, but yeah, I went in straight up into the center. Uh, had a character in Catacross in the center and just sent my 10 horses into his front line to kind of capture his terrain piece and then kind of go at his character. And then what I did is I kind of made a screening shield on my backside with all my endless spells outside of his dispel range. So I zoned him out completely, made like a big circle to where he physically couldn't come out and just drop in on me. It felt good.
So
Mason and I actually talked about this mission, playing this exact strategy. Is like, I'm just gonna move into the center and kind of make a big circle, make him come in, and then
You
just
know
kind of
what's
move in.
crazy though? If those would have been sequiturs and not liberators, I think it would have been such a different game, dude.
Oh, 100%. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm
Now
curious, what
you're
was his reply to that though? Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Mason.
no, it's okay. Yeah, your question's way more important than my nonsense.
Sequitors aren't nonsense. They're beautiful models, and I'm sad they're going.
Yeah. Rest in peace, Sequiturs. His response was there wasn't necessarily much he could do. Um, I essentially had to sacrifice. When I played my OBR list, I realized 90% of my games, I'm gonna have to either throw away my Archai into something or throw away my 10 Death Riders. Like Catacross and the 5 ponies, or the mix up from the other 2 units, whatever survived, they're gonna have to clean up and win the game for me. The Archai, a lot of people see the Archai, and they're fucking sweet models. Um, a lot of people think they're more intimidating, so they want to try to kill them first, which they rightfully should. They're scary, so they're sitting there a lot of time at a 2-up armor save with ignoring 1 rend, and they will dominate if they will just eat things
And
if
the
you let them.
Archai are the 3d6 charge, right? Or is it
No, these
3d6 charge?
are
What I'm thinking of
the
the other ones.
so these are the +1 armor save ones. They both have the same attack profile, but these ones have a spell ignore or 3-up ward against manifestations and spells
That's
and
what
prayers.
it is.
I think they're widely regarded as the better ones. The other ones have some play and some cool builds, like alpha pin builds, but these ones are, you know, turns out 3+ armor saves are good in the game. Who would have guessed?
No.
Yeah.
Yeah, surprise, surprise. Um, but yeah, I kind of sacrificed my Archai off to the corner where he overcommitted. I want to say 25 liberators.
That's a
Uh,
lot of liberators.
it's a lot of liberators, and the Archai probably ate like 17 of them before they died.
Yeah, sounds about right. Those things are
Yeah,
scary, man.
which felt kind of good. I went up on points a lot. Um, I won a pivotal turn 3 prio and just kind of locked the game out at that point. It was fun. Matt's an all-star opponent. If you ever play against him in a tournament, you're gonna have a good time. Unless you've never don't know how to play against the Stormcast drop list, then you're gonna have a terrible time, and he's just gonna beat you.
I'll do the
But
Stormcast thing at
But
that point.
he's a gentleman as he does it.
it is in typical me and Matt's traditions. We walk up to the bar before the tournament. We ask the bartender, "We'll take 10 beers," and the bartender's like, Are you serious?" Like, yes, we want 10 beers right now. So they bring us out this giant tray of beers, and we just proceed to have a good time. So it was great.
Sounds like a very good first game then.
Yeah, very good first game. I felt really jazzed. I retained my trophy. That's the main reason I went out there is to retain my trophy.
You'd already won the most impressive victory right there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Mhm.
everything else is downhill from that point. But yeah, that was fun round one. I'm happy I played him on Border War and not round two, which was the Vice. Playing 60 Liberators on the Vice with, I have less than 30 models in my army. Um, he can just essentially play a completely uninteractive game with me
Mhm.
and just crush me, which, is not something I wanted to do. Um,
It is a legal strategy, but
it
it's
is,
not
yeah,
fun.
it's not fun. But I got paired into Deepkin round two, which
Interesting.
was fun. Another player from the EU group, his name was Jake. Absolute pleasure of a human to
From State
play.
Farm?
Yeah, not Jake from State Farm, Jake from Ellensburg.
Oh, damn it.
He had
Lesser known Jake.
a really cool and interesting list. He had no eels in his Deepkin list,
Ooh.
Okay.
which I thought was illegal in this year. Um, you know, you want to play at
How
least
many
six.
turtles?
One turtle. So his list was the
Almighty, huh?
traditional combat-y wave guy, Eidolon, with, the can't be
Okay.
wounded on less than fours, all
Yeah.
yada yada yada.
Okay.
He had him, he had a turtle, he had a two sharks, the Thrall Master, 2 units of Namarti Thralls, and he had the Soul Render and it was Turtle, Eidolon, Double, yeah, Thrallmaster, Soul Mason, yeah. And then he had sharks on the flanks, which or he had three sharks, which was cool. One of the most gorgeous armies I've seen at a tournament recently. 10 out of 10 painter made my army look bad. Um, but luckily I've have some luck playing against a lot of really good fish players. Uh, Rocco gave me a really good game recently on TTS. And I know that they're just an absolute. You have to win the game before turn three, essentially,
Hmm.
uh, or else they're just gonna dwindle you down. Um, so I kind of deployed back. I had my Arkai on my left flank, and then I had Vok Morden over here because I wanted to make sure I had all my Death Riders and everything for kind of charging in. Death Riders are very good at kind of breaking through the screens on, thralls, going and hunting sharks. Um, I kind of wanted to send my unit of 5 Death Riders off in one of the corners to fight one of the sharks. Just so I could kind of make him have to overcommit to one side outside of the range of his turtle shooting, which was kind of a little off to the center on the other side. Um, so I wanted to force him off if he wanted to win the game. But he took turn. He won. He outdropped me. Uh, or I had less drops in him. I made him go first, and he chose seize the center. And I kind of turned my head a little bit. I'm like, "You sure you want to do that?" Uh,
Sure about that
and
game?
yeah, you sure about that, buddy? And then I just walked up and ate 20 thralls and for breakfast, and
Yeah.
just kind of cleaned up, moved my archive up, little up. Took my wizard, ran my wizard up, and then I won the double turn.
Oh no.
Hey,
Oof.
those are
And
illegal.
he was in his deployment zone,
Foul.
Oof. Oof.
Yeah.
and that was all she wrote.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
jeez.
Uh,
Yeah. Those fish
I,
only have t-shirts underwater, brother. So
yeah,
Yeah.
So just to paint a picture then, Alex. So he had basically fed you a big unit of thralls in the middle.
yeah.
yeah.
And was that like a counter charge into, or did you went up in your turn, then got the double turn after that,
I
right into
walked up,
whatever he was
killed
saying?
them, and then took the double. I have one prio and took the double, and I was like, don't even care. I'm going down a little bit of points. I'm going for blood. I knew he didn't have the minus to hit wound from the turn one buff anymore.
Hmm.
It he just had the run in charge, which I was literally about to put his entire army in combat, so it was essentially nothing he could really do. And I needed to do something that turn before strikes first came online.
Nice.
Yep.
And you had them all sort of circumstantially pinned in place because they're right behind what was
Yep.
the, yeah. Oh, that's, you love to see it. It's fish
Yep.
That's
fry.
what you want. Poor Rocco's not here to hear us about murder and fish.
Yeah.
Mm-mm.
He'll listen
So
back and he'll comment. And so will
Next
you.
time. Next time, Rocco.
I had a super strong. My dice were incredibly hot this turn. Um, I got a super strong magic phase. Got all my spells off. I got drain vitality off on the turtle. Uh, so he's a -1 to save, -1 to hit. You got empowered
It's
nanite.
such a good spell. Are you kidding me?
It's so dumb.
I think it's one of
And
the best
it
spells in the game.
doesn't it go off
It
only with a
really is
7 too?
Yeah.
Ah,
brutal. Every time it works. It's like, oh, so that happened.
Neat.
yeah, it's like,
Yeah.
well, cool.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
So I got empowered nanite strikes first off on my 10 Death Riders. Kind of whip them around the side to kind of go around back. And he kind of counter deployed like I was going to come around and kill his turtle. And I'm just like, oh no, buddy. I'm killing your Eidolon. I'm not afraid of just a turtle alive. Um, and I ripped like a 9-inch charge and made it all 10 Death Riders striking first in his Eidolon and then and then a shark. Uh, just super juiced it. Did all out attack, and then I did the bonus +1 to wound. I got
Hmm.
13 crit 2 hits.
You
So
maniac.
I'm rolling in with 43 hits, wounding on 3s. It was disgusting. I deleted
That's
his
a
Eidolon. I deleted essentially everything.
that's a
I said
bloodbath.
go with, and he had a turtle alive.
Oh man. I
At that
hope you bought
point,
him a beer after that.
Oh, I bought him 2 beers. Yeah, I felt bad.
a gentlemanly gesture for him and the
Yeah.
turtle. One for each.
I had the Dust Shrieker too, like right within range to give him the -1 ward, which very overpowered, kind of
Hmm.
underappreciated manifestation, I feel. The OBR manifestations really are something.
Yeah, they're painful. Like their range is just like deceiving. They're all around. They're super good. They're that hyper elite army.
Their basic attacks too, 6 attacks,
Hmm.
4s and 2s, Rend 1 or Rend 2, D3 damage or 2 damage for the combat ones, which that's those profiles can kill some stuff
Yep. Yeah,
pretty handily.
they're pretty
Yeah, they're not like
nasty.
the throwaway attacks you get on some of the other random spells.
Yeah. And then the Shrieker was really good, 4 shots, Rend 1 D3 damage, -1 ward for a 12-inch aura, which is huge.
Yeah.
Huge.
Huge.
Yeah.
It's a
Big
toolkit
guy.
spell you just always wish you had when you're like in another army. Like so often, I would just love to have something like that.
Hmm.
Yeah. But yeah, that was that game. It was very decisive victory.
So
That's the
was he
second
doing the
game,
sub
right?
faction? Was he doing the sub faction where he could like lift the guys off the table?
No, he played Beastmaster still because he had 3 turtles and the shark, or in the
Oh, three sharks and a
three sharks
turtle.
and a turtle. I'd be afraid of 3 turtles.
Three turtles, a
Um,
very aggressive list. I love
not much
that.
other than that. But yeah, it was I felt a good list. I mean, he I think he finished like 3-2 overall. It was this insane guy, super cool. Um,
Did he win best
really,
paint?
he did not win best painted. Ethan from the Corsairs won best painted with his corn, which made me feel
Oh,
good
jeez.
because it was his first like
Nice.
real big GT, and he was really, I think it was his first time walking away with hardware, so he was like super hyped about it. Um, Shout out to Ethan, fantastic guy. Um, but yeah, round 3 I played friend of the pod Will Rivas from Warp Dice, super good experienced orc player.
Hmm.
Uh,
Nice.
it was a fun game. We played. shifting or the shifting
Shifting,
objectives.
shifting objectives.
Yeah, another very good map for OBR, but also a very good map for his orc list. He played a very, very elite orc list with 20 brutes, 2 priests, the wizard, and 2 big pigs and a war boss.
Oh, geez.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Between you
So
guys, they could not many models fill up a small tray, you know.
yeah,
Yeah,
that's
but
like a
also a lot
fairly
of
well.
firepower.
a
Yeah.
lot. Yeah, we both were
Hmm.
bringing bazookas. Um, it was brutal. He is a 4 drop though. I was a 3 drop. He is very slow, and I am very fast.
Hmm.
Uh, but I'm also
So,
elite.
Alex, can I pause for a second?
Yeah.
Are you saying that so far you've played you've played 3 4 drop armies?
Hmm.
That's insanity. Okay.
Yeah.
3 4 drop armies and all like narrow maps were like tight objectives, right? If this is the third
Two
Yeah.
name for
narrow
that.
maps, 1 wide. Well, I guess how would you
And just for the
classify
record,
device?
in prep, when I talked with Alex about the list, I'm like, "Yeah, we should get this to 2 drop." He's like, "I know, but I've really been hip with this setup. It's been working out for me, and I've played so much corn that like I'm used to going first. So I've got good strategies for it. I've played into it a whole bunch." I'm like, "Okay, cool. I can't argue with that." And then that's the downside for doing the list. And then you go to the tournament, and your first 3 games, you're not punished for taking 3 drop, and
Yeah.
you just get to give
I mean,
away first and double turn. Neat. Okay, cool.
isn't it like it feels like it's 50-50? People just want the extra like upgrades from the general's handbook, right? Like it feels like field sergeant
They're pretty
is
good.
like half of the lists out there.
I
Am
like
I
5 drop armies now. I've decided to go hard the other direction.
right?
I
That's
think with OBR, you want to be. I don't think you can play OBR effectively with less than 3 casts. Uh,
Mm,
the spells and the manifestations are just too good.
yeah.
Um, the new spell lore, which I'm excited to play with Nagash OBR, that'll be fun. But the current spell lore, I mean, Drain Vitality is game changing.
Like we
The
were
Soul
just saying, right?
Masons strike
MVP
first.
spell.
Yeah,
yeah, it's gross.
insane. Crit 2 hits on 5s, insane.
Yeah.
Like as you're unlimited, like all 3 are in the spells, you won out.
Yeah.
Even Vokmorden's weird ability, the Horde Clear, sure. I did a couple wounds with it in my games. It's
He's just
fun.
a great war scroll, like scary
Well,
kind of
shit. Like
list.
you were rocking 6 casts or 4 casts.
4 casts at +1. A couple maps we had places of power, so I'm a lot of times
Yeah.
sitting there at +2. If I'm getting Drain
Yep.
Vitality or Strike First off on 5s, like
That's so nasty. I'm
it's
scared.
brutal. It's
Uh,
absolutely game changing.
yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Like if you get Drain Vitality off on a hammer before you're going into it, like they're dead.
Yep.
Like they or you don't have to worry about um just ignore them. It's like, okay, I'm gonna cast Drain Vitality and try to kill everything else.
Yeah, you got to turn to
Cool.
think
You're
about
-1 to
it.
hit. Like
Yeah.
that.
It honestly is
Anyway,
just like so demoralizing when that hammer of yours gets hit by it, like in some big scrum. It's like, oh,
Hmm.
is that dispel it worked?
yeah. And a lot of times too, you want to cast Strike First off on Catacross as just defensive. It's like charge me. If Catacross is in there to fight first, like he'll
Yeah,
kill
and he's
you.
a blender.
He
Yeah.
hits hard, dude.
Mhm.
He's deceptive. I wish Bloodthirsters hit that as hard as he did. Like
Yeah.
it's just nasty. Uh, 5 attacks, threes, Ren 2, 3 damage with crit 2 hits. 10 attacks, 3s and 4s, Ren 1 damage. 10 attacks with crit 2 hits.
It's
It's the
scary.
crows. It's the skeleton crows.
And
Yeah.
then he gets the shield, he gets 3 attacks,
The
three
shield
more
and violet
attacks.
is what they call it.
Yeah.
Or
Threes, Ren 2 damage. Like it's 3 attack profiles. I mean, the shield doesn't have crit 2 hits, but he can smack. And his ability to snipe CP
Yep.
is just
Clutch.
insane. The plus
Yeah.
all
three control is insane. Uh, I mean, just getting the commands that they're discipline orders at 18 inch range is just it's game changing.
He
He's such
is
a
worth
bucket of good.
every single point.
Yeah.
And you
I
know
wish he was
the
cheaper,
fact that
but you can't.
Yeah,
yeah,
you can't really complain
Yeah, well, he
about
gives 3
that.
units save for a CP, so I'm fine with him
he just
costing
doesn't
it.
have a weak point, really, guys. I mean, you think about it, 20 health, 3 up,
That's
all this utility. It's like sit there
Yeah.
and influence the game.
His
And
weakness,
it's his
if you will,
speed.
is that he's infantry. That's
Yeah.
his weakness. Yeah.
But
I mean,
also a
oh,
buff too because he benefits from guarded hero.
yeah. I
yeah.
mean, it's definitely not bad, but like, there's of all of the there's anti infantry the most, right? So if anything is his weakness, that's what it would be. But
Yeah.
That's a fair point. But then again, then you park him in the trees and all the archers can't hit him.
sure, yeah.
It's a
Yeah,
fun
and that
game.
Minus
being
1 to
said, though,
hit,
like,
+1 to save, can't be shot. Come at me.
yeah,
Yeah.
the largest amount of like anti in the game is infantry, right? But it doesn't really
Yeah.
matter if you can't survive that strike. Like he takes more to kill than like a Gargant average,
Oh, he
right?
definitely
So it's
feels.
like,
Yeah.
yeah, he's a scary guy.
It's true. And I do want to double down on like how good Aviark Spymaster is. Because you guys know that I'm a huge fan of messing with people's
So
command
good.
abilities. It
Mhm.
wins you games
Right.
just all the time.
Yep.
A lot of games too, you'll play with the Soul Masons -2 to charge aura, and then they'll, get a botched roll and they're like, oh, reroll my charge. Like, nope. And you snipe it, and then they're sitting there completely
Yep.
defensiveless.
Yep.
Hmm.
And that's the game right there.
It is rage inducing when that happens.
Oh yeah. It's yeah.
So
Um
is this game 3, Alex? Am I counting
Game
right?
3, yeah, shifting
Okay.
objectives. I got very lucky with the objective, the prime objective always being in my corner,
Oh
away from
wow,
him. It was just there the whole time.
that would do it. Yeah.
Even when Will was the underdog, he just rolled it and it was mine. Was just
He's like
literally
mid,
whatever.
not my favorite. I'll re-roll it. Okay, your side. Dope. Like,
Yep. I gave him turn. I knew I was faster than him. I was like, okay, yeah, come up on the objectives with your 20 brutes or your 3 big pigs. I chose anti-infantry because I was like, okay, brutes, they're kind of chonky, but
yeah.
he's gonna have to come up in these big bubbles, and
Mhm.
he only has like 2 units that are really scary. The big pigs you can kind of fight off with 2 up armor saves, ignoring 1 rend with Catacrys's ability and all out defense.
Hmm.
The brutes are, he gets that crit mortals with the Zagrok or
Zagra.
whatever it is off on those brutes. Those things are gonna crush.
And they're anti-infantry too, right?
They are yeah.
Yeah.
So what I did is I just focused all my buffs on my Death Riders, made him come to the center, and then my Death Riders just ran up and wiped him.
Love it.
Our game was really quick. I told Will, I was like, Will, this game's gonna be over very fast. And he's like, I know. Uh, and I just sent everything into him right there. I was like, do it, have it. Uh, I on my turn 1, I think I killed a big pig, half of another one, 10 brutes, and did wounds to like one of his characters.
So you're saying you out orced the orcs?
Yeah. And then I won Prio and doubled him.
Oh, geez.
Some savagery from the Catacross Chamber. This master strategy from his Imperious and Palanquin
Hashtag
is
never
working.
punished. You know what I mean?
Yeah. He started his turn 2 with just his characters.
Oh wow.
Brutal,
So
brutal.
that's 2 games in a row where you were just punishing people for existing, essentially.
I
Yeah.
have to
Yeah, I
imagine
mean,
you bought him some
yeah.
I
beers.
I
defense,
made them go first, and they had to play the game, and then I doubled them. So
in my defense, this was Saturday. This was my birthday. So I had the birthday luck
There you go.
up going my way.
you had
I
10
would,
beards, luck.
Yeah,
Like,
I had the beer dice were rolling, so
yeah.
Alex, I gotta say, this is a suspicious amount of luck so far. Did you or did you not wear the shorts from the store to this
I
game?
did not.
With that,
Uh,
the fact that you accomplished it without the shorts is nothing short
it's
of a
true.
miracle, but it's
It's
But
true. But see, last time I was playing, I went 3-0 on a GT, and I forgot my Always Strikes Last gear at home. I wore my Always Strikes Last gear on day 2 because I had terrible dice luck last time. This time I was like, okay, what's the common denominator? I wasn't wearing my Always Strikes Last gear.
Good, good
Made sure I
man.
put that on for day 2.
I remember that because the last time you were sailing hot into like the second day of the GT, you're like, this is good, we're on the roll, we got it. And then it was just that was the one where it all went pear-shaped. You had the game against Mason, right?
Yep. No, it's where Mason got his golden ticket. And I had,
Also, this whole weekend, I've been hyping Alex up, just sending him awesome,
yeah.
wildly inappropriate positive affirmations. Like,
I love
Nice.
that. That's the energy we need, Mason. That's
yeah.
good.
No, yeah. I I literally can't thank Mason enough for how much he was in my corner the whole time, prepping me up, talking me off ledges. It means a lot, buddy. So thank
Of
you.
course.
But yeah, we went out for my birthday that night. It was fun. We probably had, a few too many. Again, traditional. Uh, it's my
You have
birthday.
to.
Yeah,
Yep.
I had
It
to
is
have
a
a good
birthday
time.
dinner. It's fair. All
We
pass.
they put pairings up at 11:30 at night, and there are three of us.
Solid strategy.
There are three of us undefeated, and they weren't doing top down. They just did all random in bracket. Uh, so it was me playing OBR, my teammate also named Alex playing OBR,
Alex Geiger.
Alex Geiger playing OBR, almost the exact list I'm playing, very a little different. Where I had forecasts, I had 5 more ponies. He had a catapult, trade Vokmorn for an Ossifector, and that's his list. So his list is more kind of controlly a wide objective map where I can be more. I have two big hammers where he doesn't really. He just super juices up his archive and kind of guns it. I get they do the pairings. I get paired down randomly. I don't know
Cool.
how. Alex and I were already mentally like we're 1-2, like we're playing mirror match. It was in our team Discord, like team violence, like happening first thing in the morning. Like
Yep.
the Highlander memes were already coming out. There can only be one Alex OBR
Yep.
player.
Yep.
Like it was like we had already told ourselves like may the best Alex win tomorrow. Like we both love each other. We're both very proud of each other. But he has to play the Feck player, and I get paired down into KO. I don't play a lot of KO,
Interesting.
so
Who
I don't
does, you know?
necessarily know what they do. You know who does play the Mason is our teammate Barker.
That's
Shout
right.
out Barker. Um, Barker taught me. I like immediately ping in our Discord. I was like, Barker, I need your help. He like only plays KO. He's on Aethercast podcast. Shout out Aethercast. Um, big KO player. I was like, Barker, I need you to teach me KO at midnight, and I'm drunk right now. I have dice at 9. Teach me everything. And Barker, being the sweet, beautiful angel he is, gives me like 1,000 words on everything, on like every possible thing. And he's even like, I can TTS in like 20 minutes if you're ready. I was like, dude, I'm wasted. Like, I'm struggling like trying to read this. Like, I literally just went to a bar, ordered a pitcher of Modelo for myself. Like, I had no glasses.
Jeez.
It's I'm like sitting here like trying to read like okay cool, and then I finally realized like I need to go to bed. I have dice in like 7 hours. Uh, so I get paired against this KO guy. I think his name was Aaron. Super nice guy. Adam. Uh, Adam played Alex the round before me, so he played Alex OBR and then Alex OBR.
He was like a true
Alex.
Alex OBI like
Twilight Zone,
aficionado at
maybe.
this point.
Yeah.
What do we
Yeah.
call it?
It's going, what's going on here, man?
Uh, Alex kind of gave me the rundown. I was like, okay, I'm like, how do you play it? He had the catapult, so the catapult's really good at killing balloon boys. Um, but I was like, I like, how did you play? Like, I want to know kind of what you're doing. We played one of my all-time favorite missions, limited resources, which separates the boys from the men. There's so many different tactical decisions you can make on that mission.
Honestly, it is one of the more entertaining ones. You can always
I
have a good game out of it, no matter what you do.
always love
Unless
it.
you
That's
absolutely
true.
give up right away, the game is always able to allow you to like snatch victory, right?
Yeah. I was teaching some of the newer players we had going out with us like a lot of tips and tricks on limited resources just because I played a lot of limited resources. I played a lot of the Vice last year when I was
Mm.
hunting a golden ticket. And then we had your tournament. I think Sparkle, the fall Sparkle had one. And we knew we were going to play both of them at LVO coming up. So it was like practice the missions that are really hard to play because the dense ones are always going to be essentially the same with a minor twist. It's these weird complex missions that you should be practicing if you want to become a better player, in my opinion.
There are also
But
the gatekeeper missions that you said, like they can really mess you around.
Yeah.
it's funny as hell though, because if you inherently play the missions, you can win even though it feels like you're losing
Oh,
so much,
100%.
especially with limited resources. The first
Yeah.
time that I played it with the new General's Handbook when it was new, right? Like I was like, why am I winning? I'm so frustrated that I'm winning. Nothing is going my way, but I'm playing these objectives and I'm doing it fairly well. Why am I winning? I remember having a conversation with my opponent going, I should not be winning this game. Yet here I is.
Yep.
It really is an interesting one because it's one of the few missions that you can find yourself in a situation where you basically swamp the board and like you're just crushing your opponent's models, but you can't access a couple stray little objectives that you're getting like no objective points and like quickly get eclipsed.
Yeah, or you can just overdo it right away, right? They can play the slow game and just slowly hit spots here and there and then take it away. It is truly if
Yep, yep.
like Alex was saying, like play a 5 turn army. Like 5 turn armies are my favorite armies to play, only movement side, not like lasting. But like that is a 5 turn game if you
Yeah.
play it effectively. Like that's probably why I think it's one of my favorite missions.
Mhm.
I love
Yeah.
5 turn games.
You rarely play, in my experience, you rarely play the map the same way twice. It always works out differently.
Yeah, 100%. Especially with different armies
Yeah.
and like,
It's
yeah.
also crazy to think about the how many times I've had to play that stupid mission. I absolutely hate it and can't wait for it to go away. Um, but
Um,
there have been so many times where I go into that mission thinking I have a great matchup and I just get sent the craziest puzzle to figure out like what is happening right now.
Yeah.
And then there are other times where I've played
Mhm.
into that mission and my opponent has no idea what's happening and I can just do a couple of things that I know work. It's almost like easy chess openers that just take the game. You know, it's like, oh, okay, I
Yeah,
guess.
yeah.
mhm.
Wow.
That was this case. I don't
Yeah.
think he practiced or played limited like I had practiced limited.
Mhm.
Um, but then the counterpoint, I don't know KO that well.
Right.
So
You guys balanced out
there's
on
So
that.
you
that
got the
point.
midnight
Yeah.
rendezvous with
I,
Barker
I got the midnight
and
rendezvous
you.
with Barker. His list was interesting. He played it was very small model count. It was less models than I had. It was the Brock Gunderson, so the elite balloon boy.
Mustache gun.
Yeah, mustache
Mhm.
gun. A frigate, uh, double reinforced engine riggers, min unit of Sky Wardens, and then he had a navigator, reinforced unit of Sky Wardens, and then 2 min squads of Sky Warden, and then Bundo, the Kraken Eater, um,
Bundo, whale biter.
giant Bundo or whatever his name is. Yeah,
That
the
makes
Gargant.
sense. So he had a lot of like mortal wounds with sky wardens, trying to do shifty stuff with the objective. Frigate pops them
Yep.
around where they need to be. Bundo takes an objective and says, hi, I'm annoying, come and kill me.
Yep.
If you can't
Uh,
tell, I've been doing a lot of KO lists
Nothing
lately.
one thing that was
wrong with
to
that.
note, Arkai have anti-monster, and they're already Rin 2. Bundo's a 4-up armor save.
Yeah, he's gone. He's straight
He
gone.
is just gassed. Yeah.
All those
Uh,
wounds evaporated. Okay.
I take the turn. I take turn one. I was like, okay,
Yep.
cool. I think I'm in a position. I need to make a 7-inch charge with my Archide to kill Bundo turn one, essentially. I fail my charge. I fail my reroll. So I'm essentially
Uh,
sitting there in like a castle in the center-ish of the table and say go. I'm immediately like, on the inside, I'm like, okay, I'm a little worried now. Like,
yeah.
things are about to get hurt. But the reason I
Uh,
took turn one as opposed to giving him turn was the frigate can move really, really fast, which I was told by Barker, and then get strikes first with 2 units. And I didn't want to get caught flat-footed with my Catacross buff off because I can only do it in my turn.
mhm.
Mhm.
So I was like, okay, even if I score min points, I mean, you know, Mason in my head saying it's okay to go down points. Like it's not the end of the world. I only sit on 2 objectives. He deploys on 3 of them, or essentially 3 of them on turn one, which I'm like, okay, like I immediately recognize like real like 40 minutes into the game. So we're like I passed turn to turn two to his turn one, and I based on how I see him playing the primary, I was like, he doesn't know what he's doing. Like okay, focus. I was like, told myself, focus, get ready, play defensive because he's about to burn himself out of everything.
Mhm.
And he comes in. I kind of I countercast an endless spell to where he can't necessarily come in with everything on Catacross. Um, and yep, that was he kind of bounced off me a little bit, and then Catacross and my Death Riders just ate all his balloon boys, and then my Archai ate his giant.
Yeah, I get the point of the Sky Wardens, like mortal wounds, ooh ah cool, but the -2 rend on the engine riggers, I feel just has more utility, and they were cheaper. I don't know if the Sky Wardens went down in points to make them even now,
I
unless
think
they're
the
like
army's
10
missing
points more.
something small. I don't know if I'd play Bundo. I think if you're going to try to do that, you should take 2 boats.
Two
So
boats
you can
maybe.
essentially strike first with more than 2 units.
I think they need an anchor.
Yeah.
They're like Sylvaneth in that they need an actual anchor that they can put where they need it to be.
I
Um,
mentally told myself, okay, I'm playing against, because they're crit mortals, I'm playing against bad Varangard with less wounds.
yeah, and he didn't really have like any good shooting in that list, maybe just from the frigate
Yeah.
and Bundo.
From
Bundo
Brock
actually
or
is
Death, right? Like,
Yeah.
stupid, or not, yeah, Brock. I'm mixing up the B words there. Um, the top hat man.
Yeah. Yeah,
Um,
I doubled him on turn two, and
that
then
seems to be your theme. That's your theme for this
it
tournament.
Very consistent this tournament.
I got that birthday dice luck. I had the always strikes last gear on day two. I was repping it. Um,
you did
yeah, it was
start with a
good.
failed charge. It's kind of like a hey, hey, don't get
That
cocky.
balances
Yeah,
that
But
out.
okay,
Yeah.
here's a
yeah,
double
that's
turn.
true.
Okay, fine.
That's true. Yeah,
So after that, I immediately it's like, okay, I have an hour and a half left in the round, hour for lunch. I just go plop a chair right in front of the other table, winner's bracket. I was like watching them just play limited resources, and I was essentially live tweeting it to our team. Everyone was
nice.
super curious. Our teammate Alex Geiger won by 2 points. Literally on the last turn, I think he got a little unlucky. Alex got a little unlucky. His opponent was also a little newer, I don't think he played limited like Alex and I had played limited,
Mhm.
and I think that helped him out a lot. I saw him make a couple rookie mistakes, and I was just like, well, if he played it tighter, he would have won because Alex had bad luck.
Well, time
But
in the game. Time in the game, you know?
yeah, I went on a walk. After that, went and got myself a bite to eat. Um, text Mason. I was like, I'm locked in. Like, I'm ready. Like, this is it. Um, Alex and I were playing the final mission on Battle for the Pass. I'm like walking myself through this. I was like, okay, I'm a little more fighty than he is, but the catapult being the long way, it's gonna be really good for him, forcing me to
You
fight last.
you also had speed, right?
I had the speed. Well, I had more Death Riders than he did.
Yeah.
Um, it was an interesting game. Again, Alex was a 3-drop too. So I played 4-drop, 3-drop. I won the dice roll on that one, so it didn't matter. And then I played a 4-drop. And then I played a 3-drop. I won the prio on that one. And then I played a 3-drop and I won the prio on that one. So it's completely
Gross.
irrelevant for me on my turn ones. I got to dictate. It was the first tournament I ever played where I got to dictate all the turn ones. Um, you know, I was kind of joking with Alex, gave him a big hug, like, whatever happens, I'm really proud of you. Um, it was really cool. The second time in a row this year that we get to play team on team essentially for the golden ticket to send another Corsair into the World Championship games, which it felt really good. Uh, I couldn't be more proud of him. He's such a good guy. I love him like a brother. But it was I told myself this was my time.
That's fantastic. And what a way for it to come together and the birthday
Yeah.
weekend and all the fanfare.
Yeah.
Yeah, I kind of got a little cheeky with it for my deployment. I was like, I I, I deployed first. I deployed Vokmorden and my 5 horses first, kind of off. I had a place of power right next to my stuff, kind of screened them off a little bit over here, but I deployed a little back. Like I'm not deploying on the line. I measure my line out where, the full measurements for your deployment zone. And I
Mhm.
purposely deploy a little bit back to where mentally, I think if you do that, your opponent's gonna be like, they're deploying first, like, I'm gonna give away the turn. Like, I don't want that to come in and get alpha charge to give away the turn. So I say, you drop, and he deploys a unit on the line. Like, he's gonna come up and just take the center of the table, take the 2 side objectives, and just kind of force me in, or
Mhm.
just move his two horse unit. I figured he'd, you know, come up, move his 2 horse units on the objectives, and just kind of sit back, getting ready for an alpha charge or counter charge with Catacross and his 4 Archi. And then I kind of deploy a little bit back. I say go. He kind of deploys everything kind of right there, all on the line to where like I tell myself like, oh, I have a window to Catacross. I have a window to all his horses. I have a window to his Archi on turn one. I was like, I'm taking the turn
Oh, that's
because
great.
I was like, okay, one, playing OBR, I know I'm out of range of his 18-inch snipe ability for his commands. Catacross's armor buff is a command that can only be activated on your turn. So I was like, okay, Catacross is there's a big terrain piece kind of in the center where Catacross is like lipped out a little bit on his left side with his Death Riders, or on the other side he has his Archive and his other Death Riders. So I have my 10 big blob of guys right here in the center. I was like, okay, I'm choosing anti-infantry. I was like, I can either go left to Catacross or I can go right to his Archive. And I kind of make it seem like I'm going right to the Archive. Uh, I buff up my units. I have a great magic phase. I get empowered nanite off on, all my units. I get my strikes first. I get my Death Streaker out to give him in range of his whole front line, right out there to give him -1 to his ward save. It's like, okay, cool. You're gonna be taking 6 up wards. fine, like let's go. I'm striking first with my 10 Death Riders. He buffs up he does, strike first on his Archai and then kind of sits there. Was like, okay, cool. Not going against your Archai now. I'm just gonna divert and go the other way. And I slogged the whole I moved all my units to where I used this with this terrain piece on his next turn because I was so clogged up. He physically couldn't land a charge or fit all of his bases in my Death Star
That's amazing.
anywhere. He had to literally take the long road around his own line if he wanted to kill my Death Riders. And I smash in. I kill 5 of his Death Riders and deal 14 wounds to Catacross. And I
Just
was like,
Gross.
and just alpha pin him in his
Oh.
zone. And I was like, okay, uh, I'm on all the objectives. I have my 5 Death Riders sitting on the other one in range of Catacross's +3 to control, with my Soul Mason kind of hiding behind a train piece, issuing out the -2 control and -2 charge. So if he's going anywhere, he's -2, which he's just kind of a little screwed, which is,
Hmm.
to my benefit. Uh, I have an insanely good turn one. I purposely don't go up too many points because if I know he wins the prio, I don't want him to be able to take a tactic.
Yep.
So it's not, you don't have to score max points every time. So that's a big thing. If you're pinning someone into their deployment zone and it's like, okay, if they're going to score like probably like a max 4 points or 5 points, if I take that 9 point turn, I'm not up 6. So if they take the double, they can get a tactic. Then they're just going to be down even more points on their turn. And to the point where they have to give it to me. And I was like,
It's
okay,
so
cool.
vicious, man. It's so
It's just
vicious.
absolutely brutal. I'm playing the point game. It's like, okay, he has a really good turn. He kills like, I want to say between his catapult shooting, catacross shooting, or catacross in combat, and his archive wrap around and get like a really good charge on my 10 Death Riders. I probably lost 7, 8 horses between the two units.
Wow. Okay.
So I'm like, in my head, I'm like, okay, Alex, calm, stay collected. This is your ticket to lose. Uh, he doubles me. He does double me. Comes around, kills 3 of my archive with his 4 archive. But he leaves himself in range for drained vitality on my turn. And I have 2 horses left in one
His
squad.
Catacross is dead at this point already.
No, his Catacross, he retreated his Catacross out and essentially ran him away to rally him. I was like, okay, I'd rather have Catacross not in combat with me.
Yeah.
Uh, I was like, okay, I have 3 horses in one unit, 2 in another one. I'm like, Archai are, I'm in range of my Death Streaker. They go down easily against mortal damage. I get real lucky with my terrain piece that he's within range 18. I deal 3 mortals, half a dead Archai. I have my 2 Death Riders. I get, have really good magic phase again, get Drain Vitality off on them. They're essentially sitting. He didn't have the CP to do the Catacross ability on his turn because
Oh,
my Alpha
damn.
Strike. So that was really good on my part. He
Mhm.
snipes my Catacross ability with his stealing thing. I was like, fuck, no. Like, this is what I was trying to do. So I'm like, okay, cool. It's fine.
That's my trick.
Yeah. But it was I was the underdog because he doubled me, so I had extra CP, which was kind of nice. Even though, yeah, it was fun. But I was like, okay, cool. I'm just gonna do retreat and charge in my two, already messed up pony squads, and do the D3 mortals on the charge because Archai are infantry. It's like I got three mortals off my train piece, and I got five mortals off with my, charges between the two horses units. And then I just have Catacross and my one Archai left, and they clean up his Archai. So I finished my turn two, still commanding on the objectives. I have no dead units. A lot of units are just screwed. So I have three ponies, two ponies, and one Archai, Catacross, both my wizards. And I was like, I gotta start playing this tight. But I'm up, you know, 9 points at this, so it felt really good. Uh, I went prio and then just kind of clean up, and I knew at that point I was like, I knew I had it in the bag.
Oh,
Nice.
so did you double there 2 into 3?
I doubled two and the three, yeah,
Yeah.
and I knew at that point he knew too. He's like, damn. So
Sounds like you put up hell of a fight though.
yeah, it was a
Yeah.
hell of a game. It was definitely my hardest game I played all weekend, which I mean it should be. It's the finals of a GT.
Right.
Um,
But the
with
biggest nail biter, we still know Alex playing OBR is going to win.
yeah. But yeah, it was fun. I had a moment of reflection. I was just like, man, I finally got my ticket. Felt really good, really really big high off the weekend. Energy was insanely good. My team hyped me up. It was fun.
Hell yeah.
It's
Perfect
fantastic.
Hell
birthday.
yeah.
And then the best part now is now Mason and I get to test together for Worlds and our
Fuck
team.
yeah, we
So
do.
now we have what, four Corsairs going? No, five Corsairs.
5?
Five,
5.
yeah.
It's an old min-sized infantry squad for Warhammer Fantasy Battle. You guys are
Yeah.
on the
Right.
board.
My exact words when he won are, thank goodness now we can spoon together in Atlanta.
That is awesome, though. Like, just the
Yeah.
whole epic story, including the beginning of it with the birthday and just the whole run.
Yeah.
Hats off, sir. Great job. That's
Thank
really
you. Yeah.
Indeed.
It was
Well
fun.
deserved.
Well deserved and goal reached quite early, I would
Yeah,
say,
I
in
can
the
rest
year,
now.
huh? Right?
Yeah, I did a ton of prep for this event,
I mean,
mostly mental. Uh, I felt locked in all weekend. Um, whenever you go deep in a GT, you need to have some luck on your side. I definitely had it. Um, whether it was, my dice or your matchup dependent. I got a little lucky. I know that, but um, I played super tight. I had my lines were all really strong. I told myself stick to the game plan. I drew up a game plan in my head. I was like, I need to do it no matter what. Playing OBR, you don't have a lot of models, so every decision impacts are big.
Mhm.
mhm.
So
I think to your credit, Alex, and just it always remains to be said, right? You go to a tournament, you always have to have some luck in your side, right? But on a good day, you get some from fate, and you have to make the rest. You can't get to
Mhm.
the finish line out of the luck.
yeah. No, I
Yeah,
had
a
a couple of my
bunch.
friends at the event that went positive for the first time ever. Um, in GTs, I had like three people that I knew for a long time, big tournament goers that all posted positive results. And they're like, well, maybe it's because like who I played. I'm like, listen, you don't get to dictate who you play in the tournament. It's or who shows up to the tournament. It's you're showing up with your army, you doing your prep. It's like sports. I don't get to dictate, who I'm playing that day. It's any given Sunday. You can win. Don't ever undercut yourself. Just make sure you do your prep. If you think you can do more prep or do prep differently, that's one thing. But you can't determine your dice rolls. You can't determine, unless you're a 40K player and you have the toilet dice or whatever that was.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
Sage advice.
I mean, and even more to underline that, right? Like you weren't the only lucky player there.
no, yeah,
There were other lucky players,
yeah.
your
No,
skill
but
and your dedication got you there. You know?
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
my preparation was huge. My teammates were huge. You guys were really big, and I was constantly posting results on the Discords, and people were hyping me up, and um, there was a lot of positive energy. So all of my teammates, you guys, everyone was, you know, everyone played a part in it. So
You
That's
deserve it,
awesome,
buddy.
Alex. Well deserved, sir. Big clap. And everyone out there in our podcast universe, give Alex a shout when you hear him. He's been working for this, and you're gonna see him in Atlanta if you too get to the top of the heap.
yeah,
I
Yeah,
think
you will.
we also got another first in in Always Strikes Last land, didn't we?
oh
Didn't
yeah, we
Will?
had was it Will
Yeah,
posted
Will
his
got
first
That's
yeah
right. Will's first 3-2, I think, right? That's congrats to that,
2-1.
sir.
He
2-1.
played a one dare.
Oh, that's right. Still the positive record though, and that's a feat.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. It's
showing
like
up to an event and is hard. Showing up to an event with a fully paid army is hard. Playing the games, it's difficult. Winning one game is difficult. Past that, getting the positive record, it's a big milestone. Um, and it is a huge high. I remember my first time doing it, and it felt really good. So you just gotta stick to it, get the preparation, talk to your friends, make friends at these events, have them uplift you, encourage everyone to be the best person, help each other. It's huge.
That's absolutely the best. And there's no greater game for that than this one, right? We have the community to stand behind that and actually make it something great to go
Yeah,
and have these experiences rather than like a lonely victory at the end of a bad hallway. So
yeah,
and if
hats
you
off to Age of
don't,
Sigmar. All you.
you can make it. Never let that stop you,
yeah.
Yeah.
right? Like you can make your community. If you can't find one, make it.
I
That's the great
mean,
thing about
100%.
AOS.
always make the community the place the world you want to live in. That's how we are in the Northwest. I'm sure that's what it is like on the East Coast and other pockets of the world.
100%. And for our listeners out there, if you don't have such a community around you and you need one readily available, well, join the Discord.
You have a home. We have some new people who
Yeah,
joined the Discord recently, which was exciting. I met a lot of people over the weekend, uh, sent them our information. Some people told us they had already seen us, which was cool.
Mhm.
Yeah.
You guys want to hear a random happenstance?
yeah.
Always.
I was moving an army and I posted it on Coach's Discord because there's a pretty active America buy sell trade. Threw it
Mhm.
up there. Had a couple nibbles, waited a week or so. Some guy hit me up, made me a great offer. I said, yeah, let's do it. Boom. He's like, oh, I'm in the Seattle area. I said, no shit. So am I. Said, I'm down in Federal Way. So anyways, we organized. We said, hey, let's meet up on Saturday. You could just come to my place and pick it up. We don't have to ship anything. So easy peasy. He comes down here and super nice fella, and he says, hey, are you Mason Knox from the Always Strikes Last podcast? And I said, yes, dude, that's me. And he was so excited to
Ah,
meet me because he
That
listens to the
is
podcast and
amazing.
he's just getting into Age of Sigmar, and he knows Jeremy Cooper, who's a local who runs our masters, really awesome guy.
Love Jeremy.
And they met somehow, who knows, but they met. And so he said that he told Jeremy he was coming to meet me, and Jeremy's like, I know that guy. So just like totally random happenstance that a dude that didn't know about the PNW Discord. He like didn't know any of this stuff. Randomly met on the buy sell trade of the Coach Discord. Listener of the show, local guy getting into the game. How awesome!
Yeah, that
hell
is
yeah.
just fantastic. And heartwarming to hear.
I
Right?
Yeah.
love
I'm
it.
like, that's me, dude. Glad you fucking like it.
Well, well, I'm psyched. This whole episode is great. It's like you and Mason now, Alex, on the podium with the golden tickets, surging ahead of the rest of us who are ticketless. I mean, it's a new term. Like, was it like one of those Elden graceless, tarnished?
Now I
But
get to
still,
play meme lists.
Yep. Now you got to play meanless.
the
But
greatest joy.
for a lot of people, they can play partially meanless this weekend at
Iron
the
Cage.
Iron
You guys are
Cage.
streaming it, right?
We were hoping to. It may end up me walking around with my iPhone fucking streaming it, but we'll see how it goes.
That guy, his name is Brian, by the way. So shout out every Brian you see until you find him. But
Yeah.
I invited him to the tournament and sent him the BCP link and said that army I sold you is really close to play it legal for the tournament. And if it's your first event, like I know a guy, you should come, you know? So unsure if that's going to happen or not, but if you're listening, you should come.
Signed up. Brian. Yeah, Brian. Jump on in. And if you feel that you can't get in, just message me, let me know. We'll see if we can get you in.
Yeah, welcome, Brian.
And for anybody else who wants an online community, join our Discord, man. We're just about ready to hit the last round of our TTS tournament, where everybody's kicking ass. Which is crazy. It's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll probably do a recap of that a couple episodes from now.
That'll be fun.
100%.
It'll be really fun. And bullying some of the players that want to hop on the stream and talk about their games.
Yeah. I know down the pipeline we've got interviews that we want to get with a fellow Corsair that puts on a mean narrative event. We want to learn all about narrative and how we can dress up and be narrative gamers. Mm-hmm. I know we still have a show with Ricky in the works, right? Talk about terrain, building a community, what he's up to and how awesome he is and his wizardness. Mm-hmm. And then if you guys have any ideas or stuff that you want an episode on or anything, like tell us. Leave a comment or hit us up in Discord or like scream it out loud into the sky. We can hear it. Like, any of those will be fine. We'll try to cover
it. So we can triangulate you. Stand 100%. In place as you scream.
Yeah, if you're a new player that's like, I'm picking up goblins. I want to know how to play goblins. Call us out and we got you.
Yeah.
We're pretty receptive to that. Especially
say, hey, you guy.
Hey, drop a link in the Discord. Say, hey, this is something I want to hear about.
Yeah. So I think outside of that, hit the subscribe button, all the fun stuff that Rocco's going to yell at you while some badly tuned punk rock guitars play in the background at the end of the video.
Yeah.
I swear I'm going to re-record that at some point soon.
I like that it's grungy.
Yeah, I think it's good. For one, it's Seattle style, and it wakes people up to make sure they hit that button. So
that's right.
Strategy.
But that being said, I think we've come to a good place. Is it time for the last word, or do we just give that to birthday boy?
There's a time to punch the ticket.
No favoritism in these parts.
Stay thirsty, my friends.
Hello everybody, it is Rocco you boy coming at you once again with another Always Strikes Last promo. That's right, ring that bell, leave a like, a subscribe, on whatever platform you're listening to us on, be it YouTube, be it Podbean, whatever you got these days, so you can keep up to date. Don't forget, we have the Patreon, if you want to give us a thank you for all the stuff we put out. That gets you into our member-exclusive Discord. And if you want to be an even bigger supporter, we've got a merch store.